Hello, 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 and welcome to the movement. Hi, Annette. How are you today?
Wonderful. Hello there, Anita. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Welcome, everybody, to the movement. We are the movement. We're a motivational organization veered to educate minds, empower, nurture, and transform. We are a move meant to move. Yes, we are. We are a move meant to move. We want to help you thrust into your purpose so that you can start living the best version of yourself and win. We tapped into some winners information. We have some winners resources. We're seated at the winners table, and we invite you to take a seat right along with us, right, Annette?
That is so right. We are here every Wednesday, and every Wednesday we make more and more room for you at this table.
Each and every Wednesday. And you know what? As we say so often, we are not psychologists, we're lifeologists. We've lived, we've experienced some things, and we want to have you join into our conversation about these things, right? Yes, yes,
Right.
yes,
Yes.
yes. Thank
Yes.
you so much. We have some great people that come on with us. We thank you all so much for coming with us. You don't have to, but we love the fact that you do. You sit right at the table with us, and we love it. We love it. Thank you all so much. We just got a compliment on our intro. Love the intro. Thank you so
All
much.
right now.
Thank you all so much. And we have a great conversation for tonight, as always. Our topic, of course, is a very common saying. What had happened was, that's all. That's one of those common sayings that we always do. But I'm going to kind of segue into our topic right now. I am so excited about what we're about to talk about tonight because we're going some places as we have been since we've changed our format. So we're going to segue in. But before I do, I want to ask that you all would take a moment and like and share. Hello, Sharon. Great to see our great people on tonight. We want you all to take a moment, like and share, and leave a comment. Leave us a comment. Tell us something. Talk to us. We want to hear from you. We want to know, what you guys want to talk about. We want to know how the conversation blessed you. We want to know what, we just want to hear from you. So take a minute, like, share, invite somebody, tell them we're on. We're live on Facebook and we're live on YouTube. And make sure you subscribe to all of our channels and hit the notification button so that you'll know when we're on. So we are about to go into our talk, y'all.
Yes.
It's an interesting one. In my devotional this morning, Annette, I did some reflecting. And we're 3 days into Black History Month, and as you can see, we're kind of dressed for the
Yeah.
occasion.
We're
We try to represent a little bit.
we
Just a little
tried.
bit. Hey, we were about 2 minutes late because these
Yeah,
head
for
wraps
sure.
treated us. But when we look at the world today, we've gone through so many shifts and changes in this country, but in the world in general. We salute and celebrate our heritage as African American females and all people of color in general. We are ADOS, which is American Descendants of Slavery. However, there are so many other contributions from people of African ancestry. And, some of the ancestors that didn't quite make it to America because they took over the ships.
Yeah.
And docked on the islands. So we don't discount them at all. We don't discount anyone. We just salute all of our brown skinned brothers and sisters because we don't get the credit that we're due. And in lieu of Black History Month, we just would like to pause each week in our introduction. And we just want to say a little something. And in my study today, and I was, going through, we hit the same ones, Harriet Tubman, Mary McLeod Bethune,
Yeah.
the same people. But I found, I knew about this lady because after watching the movie Hidden Figures, I knew about her, but I was so blessed to read her story. This is Valerie Thomas. Valerie Thomas was born February 1943 in Maryland. And she was fascinated by technology from a young age. And when I read her bio, I learned that she learned a lot of things from her father. And at the age of 8, she checked out a book called The Boy's First Book on Electronics out of the library. And her father would not work on any of the projects with his daughter, despite his own interest in electronics. So she had to kind of do it herself. She attended high school for girls and downplayed math and science. So after graduating from high school, she went to Morgan State University, an HBCU, and she was only one of 2 women at Morgan State to major in physics.
Wow.
So she excelled in her studies, but one of the most interesting things about her, she graduated and she got a position as a data analyst at NASA. She invented the illusion transmitter. And that transmitter is being used today by NASA. She got a patent in 1980, and she was responsible for developing digital media formats, image processing system that is used now in a lot of forms, and mainly like 3D movies. When we look at a
Wow.
3D movie, think about Valerie Thomas. Let me tell you, that is an accomplishment. So we salute Valerie Thomas. So we
Yes.
just wanted to pause and just kind of give a little shout out there in Black history. But when I look at the world, you guys, I look at how we have advanced even in digital technology.
Yeah.
How the world is now operating differently with all of the scientific involvements, the inventions in society. One would think, that we would know how better to take care of ourselves and our planet. You would think, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
With
you
the
would think.
knowledge, I mean, think about it. With the
Yeah.
knowledge, the access to information that we have now, with the knowledge of history, we should be able to even appreciate others' heritage and cultures.
Yeah, we
You would
should.
think that this alone, just the knowledge of things, think about the fact that, in our generation, okay, we experienced some things, but the generations behind us, the behavior that they're experiencing is learned, it's passed down.
That's true.
So you would think that learning the heritage of the generational things that happened in the hearts of generational race, I call it generational racism, you would think that the hearts would soften enough that we would accept each other more.
It would seem that way, Anita.
It would seem,
But it would seem that way, but I think
but
we
what had
use that
happened
as
was, what had
yeah.
happened was generational racism has passed down.
Yeah.
And so now, and oftentimes, listen, even not just in that, we're talking about technology, we're talking about behavior, we're talking about people, generational practices, but poor decision making in our own lives.
Yes. True.
You would think that once we learn, we would not make the same mistakes that lead to destruction and chaos. So when we look at, just look at everything, relationships are torn apart. Sometimes in our lives, our individual lives, we miss opportunities. We miss things. We're so far off the mark. But instead of taking responsibility and facing the hard truths, we start the blame game. And the blame game starts with, well, see, what had happened was. And that's usually when you ask children. And it was, let me tell you, it's something that people have been saying for so long, though. And when you think about it, it's not a new phrase.
It's not.
So
It's not.
there's a lot that can factor into this topic, but my word that we use tonight, for those of you who are not familiar with us, I choose a word every week that I take a verb and I deal with the tense. I like to deal with the tense as far as being the intransitive tense of a verb and the transitive tense of a verb. So I like to take the tense and deal with the tense of the verb and and how it plays in. Well, this week, the word that I chose to use does not have both tenses. And sometimes that happens. Sometimes
Yeah.
I'll get transitive and sometimes I get transitive only. See, a transitive verb needs an object in order to make sense. But an intransitive verb makes sense without one. And my word tonight is happen, and it is intransitive. So happen means to come into being or occur as an event, process, or result. So when you look at your situation, when you look at the topic that you're discussing, you have to ask yourself the question, what happened here? And then in answering, we would tend to say, well, see, what had happened was,
Wow.
So we're going to go into some things tonight. And, listen, all of it is not very comfortable, but we have to talk. And I'm glad that we have this platform in that so that we could come to the table and have some honest discussions.
Yes.
Because there's something that we don't do a lot of, and particularly as it relates to church folk.
Yep.
So
You're right.
Why is it that we don't like to talk about stuff?
I just think we do want to talk about stuff, but we want everything to be comfortable and everything to be okay. So we have subjects that we'll talk about, but certain things is taboo. But now the
There's a
wonderful thing
lot
about
that's been swept under the rug. There's a lot.
And this platform and other platform like this, nobody is hindering you. Before there was a block, you would only talk about certain things. And so that's why, even though it's uncomfortable, it's so needed.
It's definitely needed. Definitely needed. So we're going to go some places tonight that might not be too comfortable, but we want you to come on in the room. We want you to come on in the room and join us. Join in the conversation. Feel free to leave a comment. And before we go any further, I just want to say to you all, and if you don't have one yet, make sure you get one. Can we talk, Annette? Can we talk?
Can we talk?
Yes. Look at that. Look at the Can We Talk mugs.
Okay.
We have our Can We Talk mugs with our logo on them. And I'm trying to turn it around without breaking it. And on the other side, we have tea time topics. You see my lipstick on the mug. We have tea time topics on our mugs. So if you want a mug, please make sure you go to our Facebook page. I have the instructions and I'm going to play them on here tonight as well, but make sure you see the instructions. I'll play them for you later, but for right now, we're going to pause for just a second and we're going to do a few commercials and we're going to come back and we're going to talk, y'all, because we have lots to talk about. Just like my text said, we have lots to talk about, lots and lots. Join us for Power Walk Sunday every second Sunday at 10 a.m. live. TNT, that's Tuesday Night Talk with Annette Anderson, every Tuesday live on Facebook at 9 p.m., where you can soar, that's speak, orate, articulate, and reverberate. When we eat well, we live well, and all will be well. Join the journey and take your life back with Eat Well, Live Well, Be Well. Visit our website and register today. Also, join us for the Be Well Health and Wellness live stream every second Saturday at 3 p.m. live. If you don't have your copy yet, go to Amazon right now and purchase your copy of Living Life One Quote at a Time by Annette L. Anderson. Sow good seed into good soil. Donate via Cash App at Movement Worldwide or visit our website at movementworldwide.org. Click the link and become a patron. We thank you kindly for your continued support. Make sure you follow us on all of our platforms and turn your notifications on. Hit the like button and subscribe. Oh, and don't forget to share. All righty, we are back and we are in the middle of our discussion. You tuned into Can We Talk with your hosts, Anita Faye Wilson and Annette L. Anderson from Movement Worldwide. And our topic tonight is what had happened was. But do you notice in that when we start dealing with the things that we struggle, when we start dealing with our personal struggles, or not even just our personal struggles, but when it comes to even arguments between friendships, arguments in relationships, disagreements with employees, employers, we always want to point the finger.
That's true. That is so true.
We end up playing the blame game. Well, we get this, well, they said. I have a question. Who is they? Who is they? I mean, I've gotten that a lot. Well, they said, and they said, and they said.
Yeah. It's almost like they're talking about they in third person,
True.
Because they is a pronoun. It's never I. It's not, it's never he, she, us. It's they. And so it's actually, in most cases, it's not a they. But we come up with a they because it makes us feel better. and when we're telling our story.
Uh-huh.
So, that's the they.
Well, I have several. I mean, I have several what had happened was moments this week because I pay attention to the things that are going on in the world. I pay attention to the things that are going on in society, and oftentimes when I come upon some information, I'll look at the information, and sometimes I'm in awe. I'm in awe of what I'm seeing, especially in this day and age. We would think, Annette, that we are past some things,
Yeah.
but there are some things that we just have not even tapped the surface with. There's one thing in particular, and you and I spoke about this earlier, Annette, and it is this
Oh,
famous letter.
yes.
I don't know if any of you are familiar with this letter. There's a letter there's a pastor. I believe the pastor was out of Arlington. An Arlington pastor receives a racist letter after leaving the Southern Baptist Church.
Yes.
The pastor's name is Reverend Dwight McKissick, and he when he left the Southern Baptist Church, he got this letter. And I'm going to read just a couple of little excerpts from the letter. The letter is addressed to him, and it's from, I guess from the, I don't, it says John B. Rutledge. It's right there on the letter.
Oh, it's there. That's who it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it says, in recent years, the Southern Baptist Convention has been repenting foolishly of the sin of whiteness and has rebaptized itself as an exemplar of diversity. Verily, it has brought fruits to meet for repentance. A Negro convention president, a Negro candidate for. When it got to that right there, I started to cringe.
Yeah.
A Negro candidate for the pastorate of a white church, and he named the area $5 million in seminary scholarships, and only for Negroes. I'm like, wow. But it has not been enough. For the Negro, nothing is never enough. Boom. So I'm thinking, how did we get here, Annette?
I had to take a deep breath because it was almost, and we were talking about, like you said, it's almost like he took black folks and put them in a certain little box.
Right.
So, we've been good to you.
Wow.
Haven't we fed you?
Right. And that's what
Haven't we clothed you?
like a massa
Yeah.
saying you ought to be satisfied with what we have done.
Yeah.
Because, because he goes on to say, that at the end of the letter he said something like, but he was talking about all of the things that they did and how they've given all these scholarships and how yet they remain savages. They defile and diminish in every arena which they parade: academic, political, corporate, judicial, military, athletic. I mean, he went through everything and just literally belittled Black people who have been inducted into these areas of life. And at the end of the letter, he says, but those are beyond the Negro's intellectual capacities. Like 2-year-olds, they know only how to whine and throw tantrums.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was
The
interesting.
Southern Baptist Church should bid them
Yeah.
goodbye and good riddance. That is what he wrote.
Wow, that's what he said.
And
That was interesting, though.
Wow.
Because obviously he had been harboring those feelings for a while for him to write this letter. And I thought it was kind of comical when he started listing all the things that Black people could not accomplish.
Right.
But if the truth be told, a lot of Black people were kept out of certain areas because you knew if we got there, whether it's playing golf, whether it's playing basketball, whether it's playing football, don't matter. I don't care if it's skating.
Exactly.
We are going to excel. And so that was a blatant lie that he told. And it's interesting to me about this particular, because I'm not going to lump everybody a Southern Baptist may have the same feeling, but I just thought it was interesting. Don't you serve as Jewish God?
It's interesting.
Jesus Jewish.
And I'm reading this letter, and I'm like, oh my God, how did we get here? What had happened was, a person decided that they didn't want your handout anymore because obviously you didn't want to give it in the first place.
Yes.
Because when we look at, some of the things that when he was talking in the letter, he was saying something along the lines of that they had rigged elections to install Negroes.
Isn't that something?
But it has not been enough for the Negro. Nothing is never enough. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow.
So that means you don't even look at the men and women and men and women of God in the same way you look at the white men and women of God. You're looking at them like these the Negroes that, in other words, we just let y'all be a part of a Southern Baptist.
Right. Right.
So you should be honored that we let you. You don't let nobody do anything. That's why that gentleman, he decided that he had had enough. And this has been his heart always. That ain't something he just woke up one day. I think because of the climate of the country, it's like anything else. You can hide behind a rock, but when you get a certain climate, you come crawling out. That's why we had that experience on the 6th of January, because all these people who had these suppressed ideologies and moments, they
Exactly.
thought it's okay. It's okay that I tell you how I feel. What you gonna do about it? Type deal. And I wondered, did he know that this guy was gonna put this in?
This
And
le-
I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say that if you're a Negro and you still sitting at Southern Baptist, you may want to check
you need to make
yourself.
an exodus.
I'm just gonna be there because obviously, because this guy here, Rutledge, I think his father, grandfather, whoever started something to do with that. It's a
Exactly.
shame. It's a doggone shame. But you know what? I'm glad. I prefer to know the truth.
Mhm.
I'm tired of you hiding. Come on out. Come on
Exactly.
out. Don't
We have
bother me
someone who
now.
says shameful, not of God. That's all his feelings and beliefs. And that's
I
true.
believe.
That's everything that he believed. He said, listen to this part. He said, LBJ and Lyndon B. Johnson, Great Society and War on Poverty gave the Negro the keys to the United States Treasury, and the response to which has been ingratitude and he put in parentheses, give you some more. And he put it all in one word, GIVEUSMO. Give you some more. And then he said legislation leapfrogged the Negro over whites, placing Negroes in residences that they could not otherwise afford and granting them unmerited entry into classrooms and boardrooms. I'm like, wow. Yet they remain savages. I'm telling you, this is the mentality that has been there. And here's the thing, the issue is we have been asleep long enough.
That's right. That's
I
right.
think what had happened was what a great topic. What had happened was, Annette, is that after the fighting and the marching and the protesting that was done during civil rights, where people were killed for what they believed, they were
Yeah.
hanged, they were murdered, their throats were slit, their houses were burned. There were some gruesome things. Look at what happened in Rosewood.
Yeah.
Those were the things that were happening in those days. But what had happened was we got so comfortable in our society post civil rights movement as though we had arrived, and we believe that we shall overcome, or we have overcome malarkey. And now here we are, where these people who are still alive, they were alive then. We not that far removed.
Mm-mm.
We're not
They're
that far
not. We're
removed.
not. They're
And
not.
so here we are now, and here we have this kind of mentality that the people think that they have a right, because they've been emboldened to speak this way and to think
Mm-hmm.
this way, to feel this way. They've been feeling that way and thinking that way, but now they've been emboldened to speak that way and to actually, this came from a church
Yeah.
organization.
Mm-hmm.
But it goes to show you, we talked about this last week, that the root of the white evangelical church it's seated and rooted in racism. The country was founded on principles to keep the slaves in check. It had nothing to do with us as Black and brown people. And so that's why I heard somebody say, and I can't remember who it was, he said, if you are sitting in a congregation in an evangelical congregation with a white pastor, you need to have a conversation with your pastor, because you need to know where they stand. And if you don't know, and if they play that middle of the road crap, then you need to make an exodus as a Black person.
Mm-hmm.
As a person, not even just as a Black person, but people in general, but particularly, I have a particular issue with Black people who see what we're experiencing, with all that we experienced in 2020. which got all this national attention because of George Floyd. It just woke up everything, and it got worse and worse and worse. And then just the other day, I think it was a Chinese kid, 17 years old.
Yeah.
I'm just bewildered.
Yeah. But you know what? Why you think they fought so hard and they told so many lies and they and did whatever, prophesied, whatever you want to call it,
Uh-huh.
because now this person is being removed who had the same ideology as they do. Now they're like, oh man, and that's why y'all know, they know he lost. They know
Right.
he lost. But now
Right.
this is the person that when the guys had the ticket, like he called them fine people. They weren't fine people.
They're not fine people.
No, but then that gave them the boldness. Now you
Right.
got somebody in there. They hot with him because he got people from all walks of life. That's in his administration, and they mad with that. So it's never been about people. It's been about this my country. That's all I heard on January. Said this my country. No baby. This our country. And because I don't care about Southern Baptists and none of the rest. I don't have to go to none of that anyway.
Right.
We have social media, so it don't matter to me. I don't have to go to none of it. But it's a doggone shame. But it's just the truth. I think something. First I was mad, right? I got mad. I said, oh, then I thought, oh no, thank you, sir. I appreciate that that you spoke, for the Bible said, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. So he was just talking and speaking what was on his heart. That's just the fact. But oh well.
Let me tell you. And here, I have another one for you, Annette. I got another one. And it's a mess. It's a mess. And when I looked at this one, I was like, oh my goodness. Because you know what? I really feel that he was targeted. And we're talking about Kwame Kilpatrick. I feel that he was targeted personally. That's my personal belief. And I know, granted, he may not have done a lot of great things. I mean, of course, having an affair and doing those things, but that's, man, the covers have come out so much from people. He is not by himself in that category. But when they started going after black men during that period when Obama was elected president, it was really, to me, very obvious that it was about defaming the character of people of color, particularly black men.
Yeah.
So this guy, Kevin Adele, whoever doesn't know who this guy is, he owns the Word Network that I feel that black pastors don't have any business on that network after him doing that blackface picture of him as a pimp in the center of a bunch of black preachers, and some of them are still on that network. I don't even watch it. I wish I could get it off my TV. But he also owns 910 super stations. He owns actually radio stations. I'm sorry. The article is called 910 Superstation Owner Bans Kilpatrick's Name After the Offer Sours. He said from his mouth, no one is going to breathe your name. He offered him a spot on his network because he figured he's going to need money, and honestly, I believe it's really honestly about ratings, about his own pocket. He offered him a show. He offered him interviews on radio stations, et cetera, but Kilpatrick did not answer. And after he didn't answer, he said that he was ticked off. And just being nasty, he said he told all of those stations, don't even mention his name.
Wow.
He said, because 2 weeks from now, nobody's going to even care about Kwame Kilpatrick. So he's like, he messed up. He said he did this to himself. He blew it, as if he is the only person in the world that can offer this man an opportunity.
Come on.
There's that mentality all over again.
All over again. This man can get on social media and reach more people than he would ever reach with him.
Exactly.
But you know what, though, Anita, when you think about it, when we look at the young man that was kneeling and they, ostracized him and stopped him from playing football, they were more outraged by a black man on his knees in silence than they were outraged about people riding and going in to kill people, because that's what they were doing. Exactly. If they could have got their hand, that's the mentality.
They went to the Capitol to kill.
Oh yeah, they had a noose. And if it wasn't been for that one police officer, who's to say?
Exactly. They
Who's to
probably would
say?
have gotten Vice President.
Oh, the man was right there. Say
Yeah,
within minutes.
you know, they
But
would.
they're not outraged as much, you know. Oh well, yes, someone went in there and they were upset. That's why I'm glad I stopped cussing a long time ago. Because I just don't. But I'm just saying that's stupid. Yeah, we talking about this is the most hideous thing, and you sit around like it's nothing,
That's true,
you
Annette.
know.
It
But
is
my
so
prayer
true.
is for him, Anita. Don't He's gonna be okay. Because we live
Exactly.
in a time. Because think about it, Anita. Even when we were in churches, and I'm just gonna go there too. We
Come
were
on.
we were we were quiet. We weren't allowed to say anything. You know,
You were
you get
ostracized.
you yeah, you get up there and you hold up your hand like this for the come to Jesus moment. And if he didn't like what you said, you sit down for a while and act like they were doing that because Jesus. Nah, it was about control.
It was about
And
control.
it's in the black and white churches. It's just a truth. But God did something last year. It shifted
Uh-huh.
everything. So you
God
can't
shut
shut us
it
up.
all down, didn't he?
That's right. And you can't shut us up or shut us down. If you
No,
don't
thank
like it, then don't listen. Because I'm just saying, y'all listen, okay? But I'm just saying, because it's the truth. It's the truth. It's a shame. But he will be Nita, trust me. That gentleman will be okay because somebody will see that and say, "Don't worry about it, bro. Come over here. I got you." Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. So it's amazing. It's amazing. I mean, we've had some interesting things that have happened this week. I love I actually watched it. I watched Wendy Williams' documentary, and I actually loved it. I think it was good to go back to see what had happened was, in her life, to really know, because when you don't know somebody's story, a lot of
Yeah.
times, we like to act like we know what people are doing. We like to act like we know. Somebody said control, but God is the only one. God is the only one in control. I don't know who
That's
that
right.
person, whoever that user is. Tell us who you are, because we don't have your name over here. But we know we see everybody else's name, but we can't see that person's name. But you are absolutely right. But you don't ever know somebody else's story. When you actually get the full story of what she went through and what she experienced, it actually kind of drove me to tears in some areas, because my heart really went out to her. I understand, as an African American woman, when you're trying to build a brand, when you're building a business, when you're building a movement, building a ministry, whatever it is that you're building, it's tough enough being a woman in the position, but being a Black woman in the position, and then being, mistreated and mishandled by the person who's supposed to have your back, which is your husband. And what I loved about it the most is when she was able to get up from that position that she was in and take her life back, right in the middle of where he was actually trying to control it. She changed the narrative. And we talk about it all the time. You got to learn to
Yeah.
change the narrative on your situation.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to change the narrative. I want to touch a couple of other things before we get, because we got some a really good gusto we're going to get to.
Nita, one
Huh?
second. It's
Yes.
the Facebook user say it's me, Melissa.
Oh, Melissa. Hi,
Yeah.
Melissa.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes. Great to see you
Okay.
on with us, Melissa. Okay, dokie. I see we got Danielle. Oh, you didn't watch it, Danielle? I watched it. It was amazing.
Me either, Danielle.
Yeah, I watched the documentary. It was amazing, and I encourage everybody to go back and see, just to see the story, because there was a lot of pain and a lot of triumph. She was able to take the narrative back and to change the situation. And in a lot of cases, when we're dealing with things, that's what a lot of us have to do. We have to learn to change what people, we can't control what people think or what people say, but you can control how you handle it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's always your reaction. And her reaction was so smooth that she was able to get in, she was able to take control. And I remember even back when they first talked about this, somebody was saying that Wendy's husband didn't need her money. Oh, he makes X amount of money. He makes this kind of money. But when I looked up her net worth, I'm like, oh my God, this woman here is worth $40 million. And he way down. I mean, he ain't broke, but he's nowhere near where he could have been if he wouldn't have, handled the situation that he did. Somebody, we got a comment. Somebody said, I watched the documentary first, watching the movie tonight since I'm off. Wendy spilled all of the tea. Yes, she did. She spilled all of the tea. She spilled all of the tea in her life, and sitting on that couch with with her glass of wine or whatever that was she was drinking. And what was she eating? I can't remember. She was eating something. But I watched the documentary too. She did a documentary and she did the movie. You gotta go watch it. She did a documentary where she actually spoke about it and she cried. I mean, we're talking about the eyeliner running and everything. And then I went and watched the movie. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Yes, she definitely changed the narrative of her life, and she handled her business. So hats off to Wendy. I give her all the props. What had happened was he did this, but you know what she did? She took that what had happened was, and she said, I'm gonna tell you what it is now. Is by popular demand, Annette? Huh?
Yes.
It might be what had happened was, but I'm going to tell you what it is now. I'm going to switch that thing around.
Come on. That's right.
How about this one? How about this? I'm like,
I just don't understand.
I'm floored. I spent years of my life working with artists who were a part. I wish I could have had Johara on here talking about this, but her name is Johara Sanders. She has an organization called Envy, NVEEE.org, I think it is, but it's an anti-bullying organization. So I spent a lot of years working with young artists who were advocates with Envy, traveling all over the country, doing anti-bullying summits and all kinds of things. And I'm like, when I watched this woman follow at the time, I think he may have even still been in his teens. He was like 18 or 19 years old. She was following him and screaming and yelling at him and mad because the guy has meetings with, he had 50 something meetings and he doesn't even know why he's doing it. And I'm like, oh my goodness. What? And the first thing that came to my mind is what a bully.
Yeah.
What a bully. What a bully. And
she is her bread is in the oven, but it has not rised. she is cuckoo for cuckoo pop.
Wait a minute. Trina said that's what she was eating. I'm sorry. I just saw this comment with Wendy. She was eating caviar and hot Doritos. That's exactly what she was eating. But yes, I agree. This woman needs to be whipped. Here's the thing. Yeah. First of all, you notice how everybody's trying to act like they don't know who she is. Well, not act like they don't know who she is, but they're trying to act like they're not in association with her now.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to walk back their dealings with her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at the history of some of the things that she's talked about, the conspiracy theories, the 9/11 conspiracy theories, and being affiliated with QAnon is enough for me.
Yeah.
When I actually took the time to read and to get the information about QAnon, I cannot believe some of the things that they believe. I'm floored. I can't even go there with this one, Annette.
Yeah, and you know what? And the bad part about it is all the stuff they don't believe it can be verified. So, yeah.
Before I go somewhere else, I want to deal with another situation because I'm angry because I want to know what had happened with and I'm sorry to just jump off of her. I just can't deal with her right now.
Yeah,
I want to know what had happened with the documentary of Dr. Sebi. For those of you who are not familiar, Nipsey Hussle was actually he had actually started the process of doing the documentary of Dr. Sebi, who had found the cure for cancer. And I remember the interview that he was in, and he said he told his mom that he had cured like so many people of AIDS, so many people of cancer. And when he told her that when he told her that he did that, she said, "Oh, they're gonna get you. They're gonna get you." And of course, he's mysteriously dead. And then when right in the middle of Nipsey Hussle, who was taking over the documentary, he ends up getting killed outside of his store. So Nick Cannon picked up the documentary to finish the documentary that Nipsey Hussle was working on, and all of a sudden it dropped. I mean, he dropped the trailer a year ago, and now all of a sudden we don't hear anything else about it. And I got from watching Tasha K the other night that now it's because of the fact that he's gotten his show back that he can't do this now, and it's aggravated a lot of the industry. I am enamored because it's like, to me, I think it's a compromise, and I don't have all of the firsthand information about it, and I've been trying to dig up information about it, but I only got it from that one source who had an exclusive, and I'm floored because there's so much that goes on that we blink our eyes, we close our eyes to, Annette. Yes. Because one thing about it, there's some evil forces in this world, and the pharmaceutical business, I believe, is one at the top.
Yeah,
because
you're talking about dollars.
Trust me, I'm dealing in a portion of the health industry myself, and I know for a fact that at the end of the day, a lot of times they will want to shut you down because, the truth of the matter is, I believe God made everything that we need to be healed of in this earth. But we run to everything that goes on in the lab before we would run to what God gave us in the earth. Now, God made doctors. Don't get me wrong. God made doctors and he gave them knowledge. Trust me, I take amlodipine every day. But at the end of the day, I'm also trying to do and get rid of generational practices that got me in the predicament in the first place, because it's not genetic. It didn't come down through our blood. It's practices. So I understand, and I also understand that there are things of the earth that can cure disease, and I'm believing God for the knowledge to get those things in place. And so I study a lot of Dr. Sebi's information, and I use that. I apply a lot of it, and I think it's valuable information to put into society. But what had happened was he got killed.
Yeah. You know what? When I did my little research on Nipsey Hussle, I saw where he had an appointment to meet with the commissioner.
Right.
I guess to try to discuss some stuff, because he was trying to do something. He was an entrepreneur. He was trying to make a change, and he was
making a lot of
help.
business.
Yeah, and he had bought this big building, and he was going to do all these great things and get people employed. And he was definitely giving back to the community. He was an activist. He really was. And so who's to say? I wouldn't be surprised.
Jason, you are so right. Cures would cost the pharmaceutical companies trillions of dollars.
Yes.
Trillions of dollars. They don't want the truth. They don't want cures. They treat symptoms, but they do not cure disease. They do not. They give you a pill for the pill for the pill for the pill. They don't cure diseases. But you know what? I was in LA on the day that Nipsey Hussle got killed. I was with an artist doing a show, and I'm standing on the side of the stage. And the artist is actually on the stage doing the show. It was a daytime show at a mall. And one of the DJs leaned over to me and he said, Nipsey Hussle just got killed. I'm like, what? Are you serious? I said, is that confirmed? And so we looked through our phones, and sure enough, it was confirmed. And yes, he was making a lot of change, and then he gets killed. But then what aggravates me the most is that Nick Cannon, okay, so they threw you off of the show for the comments that you made that were anti-Semitic. Okay, so you made these comments and you didn't know enough about the community, the Jewish community, and then you made these comments, and then you end up getting your show back, and all of a sudden you're just gonna drop the ball. You're gonna sell out like that. And now all of the time that was spent interviewing Dr. Sebi's family, all of the filming and everything, the trailer was even dropped.
Wow.
And all of a sudden, let me tell you, what had happened was somebody stepped in the middle of that and said, this ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
The truth on that.
That is the truth.
Crazy. But
I firmly believe that.
Let me tell you something. Nobody, I don't care how, the wickedness in this world, I don't care how big the wickedness think that they are, God is still bigger. God is still bigger. And I still believe that God will continue to raise up people, and the truth is going to win, period, anyway.
That's right. He raise up and he take down. And that's just truth. And some people need to be snatched down with the foolishness.
Well, tell me something. Tell me something about prophecy. What is your take on prophecy, Annette?
Okay, prophecy is what is foretold that what will come to pass or will be. So obviously, since that's my definition of prophecy, you're talking about what will be or what shall come to pass. Obviously, we've seen some people who missed the mark. One of the things that I said, because all the prophecy that I see, God said, God said, God said, God said, but then we come back, we try to make excuse. So if God said it, and if God can't lie, who's telling the lie? Who's telling the lie? Because he can't say it. And my problem is, you've been better saying, I believe that this is what God said. Don't say, you said God said, and it didn't come to pass. So you turn around and say, oh, that's cause, oh, the still. So you're trying to say God's schizophrenic? So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was so much profit line, and what had happened was that a lot of them took what other people were saying and piggyback. Say if you like I don't know, say if you like Paula White, what Paula White say, so you figure she's like really she's the president advisor, spiritual advisor. Surely she knows. So then you start regurgitating that foolishness, and then when it come to pass, it didn't come to pass.
But check this out. I want to play a couple of little clips, and it's not a perfectly edited video, but I want to show a couple of clips, and then I want us to discuss this. Hold on.
Joe Biden don't need to be president. And just like this, just like if you'd answered me, he said,
say without question, Trump is going to win the election.
You said, this one that I shall raise up from New York, I will give him.
The Associated Press said that Joe Biden is president. Ha!
You vote these liberal leftists in and they worship the devil. They're evil. You talking about the Illuminati? They are the Illuminati.
I hear a sound of abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory. I hear a sound of shouting and singing. I hear a sound of victory.
They went into denial.
Joe Biden is not the president-elect. He never will be the president of the United States-elect. He never will be the president of the United States.
And he's going to be voted in as the president. And on Inauguration Day, he will be the president. I guarantee you, my flight is already booked. I will be in D.C. in front of the Capitol on the day our president, Donald J. Trump, is announced and sworn in. I don't care what nobody say. My God said he would have 2 terms.
I don't care if everybody stones me, false prophet. I'm not flinching because, see, Christy and I are going to be in Washington, D.C. at the inauguration on January the 20th, standing there like we did in 2016, celebrating with the Lord that Donald J. Trump is the president of the United States. So we're going to be there. We're already making arrangements to go.
I'm looking at your face and you're like, that's how I feel when I say that, when I see that.
Yeah. And then a lot of them won't admit they were wrong. It's, something happened. No, you were wrong.
Now there's a clip in that video because this guy, I forgot the name of the YouTuber who did this particular thing. He said in the middle of the clip, he says that some of them had started to try and walk it back, and so he said now they tried to walk back their thing by saying he didn't pray. They say that God told him that that he would be president, he would get 2 terms if he prayed and followed some of the guidelines that he was supposed to follow. I'm like, that is not what you said. And it was some of the same people that they had clips earlier in 2020, who said that God told them in a dream and God showed me and this happened and that happened. And George Washington touched him on his shoulder and said, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it was some stuff. And I sat there and watched the entire video in awe. I could not believe what my eyes were seeing, what my ears were hearing, because, they're just fake. So at the end of the day, I can just about imagine hearing our topic, and then if somebody said, well, I thought you said that Trump was going to be president. Did you get a refund for your ticket? Well, see, what had happened was
Yeah, the one we're doing all that. And that particular, she says she's a prophet. That particular young lady always screaming.
yes.
I listened to her a couple
I
times.
watched
Oh
her
my
on a few
God.
videos. I watched
And
her tearing down the Black Lives Matter posters and saying Jesus matters, Jesus matters. Very, very.
and she one of the ones who paint on the
Yes.
Black Lives. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So wherever she is, she ought to feel real stupid.
Actually,
people
Jesse,
like
that's
that,
what Jesse says. So now 45 was disobedient. That's why he lost. That's what they're saying.
That's what they're
That's
saying.
what some of them are saying now. Now they're trying to say he was disobedient, so that's why he lost. And I'm like, but no, y'all had y'all ticket.
Yeah, and someone
Y'all
said,
had
"Oh,
your
they
ticket
yeah."
for the inauguration, and you
But
were going
y'all-
to be there in Washington D.C. because God said He was going to have 2 terms.
Mhm.
I mean, they
What
were
a-
adamant.
and would not back down.
No.
And so many more than that. And and I think with Paula White, she got more attention because number one, he's a spiritual advisor. Number two, she was summoning up angels. Now, I don't know what she was summoning, but it wasn't connected to God. And see, people start tapping into stuff they don't have no to tap into, and then that was a form of desperation. And her son just walking around behind. How somebody said, "Who is that? Keep walking back." That's her son. Yeah. So but after a while and by some of those people, we're not going to even hear from them because how you repair some of this?
That's what I'm saying.
Especially when you even if maybe you have an opportunity to repair. So y'all, hey, I got it wrong. They will go and die and go to straight to hell, and they will never say I was wrong.
We'll never say they're wrong.
Never.
Annette. Never.
Yeah.
And that's what's so amazing about it is that okay, you're obviously wrong. You missed the mark, but you refuse to admit it.
Yeah.
You refuse to, and instead, and that's what we were talking about in the beginning, that instead of owning it, instead of taking responsibility, we start doing the blame game.
Girl, I got to sip from my cup on that, okay?
Well, see, what had happened was, what had happened was, instead of just owning it, she had to take her herself. I'm telling you, didn't I tell y'all we had the tea tonight? I told y'all we had the tea. But see, the thing is, and this is one thing I've learned. I learned this in business. I've learned this in even in our conversations and things that we do, that there's something called the snapback zone.
Yeah.
You have got to learn, and I hope they practice in their snapback because your first response is a lasting one. Because nobody's going to remember what you said after the fact. They're going to remember what you when you look at that one young lady, she was adamant. And when you look at Paula, Paula was straight trying to fight somebody.
Oh, yeah, she was threatening people.
Oh,
she was threatening.
Well,
I commented on
people.
The post. You have my number. I said, I don't have it. Because I'm going to call. I would say, Paula, listen, honey, you don't know me. And I don't know you. But she didn't give it to me. But she said, you have my number. Well, I would have called that chick. But, I didn't have it. So, well. I was like, honey, you may want to go back to the altar and tarry. I don't know, but how they used to tarry back in the day, Anita. She may need to go tarry.
But see, this is what can happen when you actually have learned your lesson, when you have gotten to the point that you admit that you were wrong. You have to be able to come back and say, you know what, I was wrong, and this and this and this is. And then we have a comment. Jesse going off tonight. Jesse said, well, Paula was corrected but misguided on the direct subject. The sound of victory was for Joe Biden, and those African angels showed up in Georgia mightily. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Hey, but how are you going to call on the ancestors? You called on the ancestors from ancestors that are not your ancestors.
Yeah.
So the ancestors showed up for the Black and brown people through the Black and brown people in Georgia. Yeah, they showed up. Okay, boom. But we're gonna elect Biden, and we're gonna elect Warnock and Ossoff at the same time, and take the Senate.
Well, one thing about Paula, she built her career as a preacher, evangelist on the back of Black folks. So maybe she thought she had that connection.
Maybe,
but see how wrong she was. Okay.
But so was this country built on the backs of black and brown people, and the Indian was stolen from the Indians. And then you want to push everybody out. You want to push out the Hispanics. You want to push out everybody who's coming to the country that was supposed to be built for as the land of the free, the home of the brave, that people can come for liberty and freedom. But then you want to push people out who have been here all their lives. You ripping babies from their parents' arms who will never know their mother and father, because some kids will never know their parents. Mm-hmm. All right, now Georgia's in the house.
In the house.
Right,
hey,
Georgia. Georgia is in the house. Y'all turn that thing blue. So happy. So happy. Man, let me tell you, boy, Annette, it's been a trip. It's a trip. When we think about it, it's like, I hope they practice their snapback, because one of the things that I've learned, that, like I was saying, in business and here, is that when I know I've missed it, I've got to come back with a snap response, because people are going to ask you, people are going to never let you forget where you were. But we have to learn to get past our past.
Yes.
And you have to you have to learn to practice that snap, that conversation. That, I think I got that word actually from Lisa Nichols, because that's what she calls the pitch. She calls it a snap, because that snap is going to get somebody's attention. So you have to be able to get somebody's attention in a few sentences. Just like somebody might say, well, I remember back in the day when you used to. Yeah, I used to, but you know what? God saved me and I'm no longer that person.
Yeah.
Snap.
Yeah.
So I just snapped you right back. But that's what it has to be. But, and one thing about it, though, I think Sam Cooke said it best when he said it's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
But a change is going to come.
And you know what? Think about it. Even if they didn't do their snapback, the change came. The change came because they didn't get what they said they were going to get. And then I think with a lot of them, they have hurt their career, because that's what they did. They did hopping from, different Christian arenas. They here on Daystar, they here on that, and all of them on Sid Rock, oh yeah, gonna be, and now your credibility is shot, because you don't even say, I missed it. One pastor came on and said, he said, I just missed it. He said, I can't remember his name. He said, I just got caught up in what everybody else was saying. And then the comments that people were putting there was atrocious. You don't have to be sorry. Yeah. You don't have to repent for anything. But yes, he did, because it was his soul.
Exactly.
And he had to get, like, he did that snapback. And so people will know remember what he said when he said it initially, but they remember that's the guy out of everybody else that said, you know what, I was wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
hey, it's always going to be one in that. But you know
always.
what? At the end of the day, believe it or not, you can make it. You can make it past anything. Yeah. You don't have to sit and wallow in your sorrows. You can change the narrative like Wendy did. You can turn it around. You can pick up the pieces and you can change what, you can change what people are going to say about you. But honestly, I'm not the one who cares about what people say about me, but I don't want my good to be evil spoken of either. So when I start allowing my good to outweigh my anger or disdain at people, and I take my focus off of people and I focus on my purpose, I change the narrative. And that's what I'm encouraging everybody here to do, because we all, like we say in our introduction, we want to see everyone win. We want to see you win. We want to see you move past, past go, because some of us get at go and, we get right there at the starting point and don't know what to do to get past there, because we have other people in our ear. We're thinking about our past. We're playing the blame game. Well, see, what had happened was, well, I know I used to have this amount of money, but see, what had happened was, what I used to be doing, what had happened was, stop pointing the finger, snap back.
Yeah.
Snap back, because you can make it. You can get past it. And I believe that we're going to rise. I believe we're going to rise as a people. I believe we're going to rise as a country. I believe that, we're in a great position right now to do some good things. That's why we were telling everyone the other week that this is the best time to start a business or to start a movement or something, because we have access to so many things that we didn't before. We're able to get in front of people and get their ear on, different apps, on YouTube, on Clubhouse. I was on a call the other day with a very large business coach. I could have never gotten his attention because it's too costly. But guess what? Those things are accessible to me now. And I was able to find it. There are opportunities that are out there. You just have to go and get it.
Yeah. It's so true. That is so true. And even with our journey that we've taken almost 3 years, we have done a lot of snapback.
Right.
We snap back so many times, but we understand the snapback actually means growth.
Right.
Because if you fall in the area, you outgrown that area, then it's time to snap back. Right. It's okay if you fall, snap back. Don't give up. We're both a living witness. Anita could tell you her story. Anita probably had about 25, 30 jobs. I'm just messing with you, Anita. But no, all jokes aside, she has. But then each one, it built her and built her and built her. And so it was a lesson to be learned at every level. And even whatever you've been called to do, it's time to snap back. Change gonna come, but it won't come if you don't put in the work. You got to put in the work. You got to have a different mindset. I tell us people all the time, if your mind don't change, if you still thinking the way you did 20 years ago, chances are life won't change. So when you change what's up here, and then what's up, you can't just change here. You got to change the heart too. Because some of us, the Bible talks about a stony heart, so we need to change.
Our viewer just said, this is the second time today I'm hearing change narrative, change your outcome, change your mindset. Exactly. Yeah. Right on point. Because the mindset has to change.
Has to.
Everything that we'll ever have, become, do, be, whatever, it all starts in our mind. And if we can't condition our mind to believe and to actually deal with, and suppress that fear and doubt, we will never have it. You'll never become it. You will never see it. You will never do it. But you have to change the mindset. Bible says, as a man thinketh, so is he.
Yes.
If you purpose it in your heart and you believe it, you will have it. But you cannot have what you can't see. You got to see it.
That's right. And then we also said it's been a long time. And we said that for a reason. And for some of us, it's been a while. But don't give up. Change gonna come. You know how long Nita can tell you, and we talk about how long we went through a whole year praying. Praying, speaking in tongues. Humakama, we tied some bow ties and we rode on several hundreds. But then but we got past that, and then we had to keep going, and then we, and things, and the narrative changed along the way, and our narrative will continue to change because we're going to the nations.
Exactly.
So we're not just going to be people here. We want people all across the world to know that you got what it takes.
That's true.
So it's time to change.
It is time. It's time. Thank you, darling. She said, Miss Nita just spoke a word. See, God is good. And the thing is, and listen, and this is true too about prophecy, because God's word does not return void. If he said it, it doesn't return void. So some people got some boomerangs to be dugging and dodging from, because that stuff is going to come back.
Yeah.
When you put something out in the atmosphere, you cannot take it back. That's a boomerang. So somebody better be doing some repenting and ducking and dodging for all that prophet line. Wow, what a great discussion, Annette.
Yeah.
What a great discussion. Man, I have thoroughly enjoyed talking to y'all tonight. Thank you all so much for joining in with us and talking to us. I just want to show you a few things before we leave. For those of you, somebody asked earlier, I'm going to put it up right now. Hold on a second. Right here. Here's our mug. We have the Can We Talk mugs. They're $15. So what you do is you can actually, if you Cash App us, and I think I put this on our site, if you Cash App $Movement Worldwide, send a Cash App to $Movement Worldwide, and if you screenshot that Cash App and send it to our email address, then we'll be able to, and your address, we'll be able to get it to you. We don't have a store open on our site just yet, but we do have a few of these mugs, and we want to get them in the hands of anybody that wants this nice Can We Talk mug with our logo and Tea Time topic. So thank you all so much again for joining us. You could have gone anywhere else, but you stopped by here, and we appreciate you so much.
Yes.
And thank you. We're so glad you enjoyed the conversation. We enjoyed talking to you. And listen, we're here every Wednesday without fail, same time, same place, different topic, all to encourage and enlighten you. So, Annette, you want to say anything before we leave?
I just want to thank you so much for coming. And next week, invite a guest to come with you.
Yes.
We always have exciting topics and on-time topics. Actually, and we had these topics last year. So,
right.
God has a way
to done in advance. Yes.
Yeah. So, thank you again.
So thank you all so much. So we're going to say good night, and we appreciate you. And this will be up all day on YouTube, on Facebook, on YouTube. It kind of posts the next day. You may be able to find it, but we'll also have it on our website. So visit our website at movementworldwide.org, and we invite you to actually donate. Come into covenant with us and become a patron. And you can donate. You can even change your amount, but our patron amount is $12 a month. So we invite you to do that, or you can actually send us a donation at $Movement Worldwide. So we appreciate you again, and you all have a blessed one. Mwah!
Bye.
Great talking to you.
Join us for Power Walk Sunday every second Sunday at 10 a.m. live. TNT, that's Tuesday Night Talk with Annette L. Anderson, every Tuesday live on Facebook at 9 p.m., where you can soar, that's speak, orate, articulate, and reverberate. When we eat well, we live well, and all will be well. Join the journey and take your life back with Eat Well, Live Well, Be Well. Visit our website and register today. Also, join us for the Be Well Health and Wellness live stream every second Saturday at 3 p.m. live. If you don't have your copy yet, go to Amazon right now and purchase your copy of Living Life One Quote at a Time by Annette L. Anderson. Sow good seed into good soil. Donate via Cash App at Movement Worldwide, or visit our website at movementworldwide.org. Click the link and become a patron. We thank you kindly for your continued support. Make sure you follow us on all of our platforms and turn your notifications on. Hit the like button and subscribe. Oh, and don't forget to share.